Okay, as of now, 37 students have joined. Okay, so by considering all 37 students, so we shall start taking the class. Okay, so good morning all. Today we shall optical receivers. Okay, so take the heading optical receivers. So once you take the optical receiver heading, okay, you can see that an optical receiver consists of a photodetector and amplifier circuitry. The optical receiver converts optical energy into electrical energy and then amplifies the signal. Okay, an amplifier consists of a photodetector and amplifier circuitry. Second thing, when we are talking about optical receiver, convert optical energy into electrical energy. So once it converts optical energy into electrical energy, and then it amplifies the signal. Okay, so once it is amplifying the signal, we can say that it is an amplifier. Okay, once it is amplifying the signal, we know that is an amplifier. That is a major thing. Okay, optical amplifier. So optical receiver, we can say that it is consists of two parts, converts optical energy into electrical energy, and then it amplifies the signal. Okay. So now, you please make a note of this particular statement. An optical receiver converts optical energy into electrical energy and then amplifies the signal. Now this is the okay. So this particular diagram indicates fundamental receiver operation. Okay. So now in the particular fundamental receiver operation, so to understand this one, we have a diagram. So what is that particular diagram? So your signal path, how it is going to pass through the optical data link. Okay, this particular is been framed at the year 1977. So it's a very long back. So the same fundamental principle, even today also we are going to use it. Okay, so that is for sure. So that is for sure. Even today also we are using the same fundamental principle of operation. See why we need to understand this one, because once we understand that this particular operation, once we understand, so based on this particular fundamental operation, we can frame any higher order devices. So in order to design the higher order devices, the understanding of fundamental receiver operation is a compulsory thing. So without understanding this one, if you are thinking that we can directly understand the higher order things, that is not a correct. Okay, so we always go from step by step. The first step is what? Understand the fundamental receiver operation. Once we understand it, then what are the modifications to be done, how to get the more efficiency, and all we can able to see. Okay. So now here what we can understand is, you can see at the top, okay, there are electric input pulses. Okay, so now it is something like we are talking about with respect to the transmitter and as well as receiver. So this particular diagram includes the signal path to the optical data link. So here from the transmitter side, from the beginning to the end, okay, from the generated electrical input pulse to the obtaining electrical input pulse back at the receiver side. So how exactly the process is going on, that particular things we are going to discuss. Okay, so your electric input pulses. So in the electric input pulses, you can see that there is 1, 0, 1. That means what? It is a electric pulses we are going to talk. That means for 0 means what? It is at origin. 1 means what? Pulse is generated. It's a very simple concept. Okay, the square wave also one type of electrical pulse only. So now that particular electric pulse is being applied to the LED or laser transmitter. So now when you are applying the electric pulse to the LED or laser transmitter, what happens? So obviously this particular electrical pulses will excite the electrons and make the electrons to emit the photon. So correspondingly how much amount of photon is generated, that will be in proportional to the how many electrical pulses have been applied. So that means what? I can say that for a electrical input pulses quantity, the same amount of photon energy is generated or light energy is generated. So once it is generating the light energy, it will be called as what? Optical pulses or optical power pulses or optical signal or optical energy or light wave. So in many other names we can able to, but all the names corresponding to the same concept, that is optical power pulses. So now once the optical power pulses have been generated, so we can say that, okay, we can understand that that particular pulse can be transmitted by using the optical fiber. Okay, so once it is been generated, we can send through the optical fiber. So when the signal is passing through the optical fiber, what exactly happens? So attenuation and distortion, all those things will happen in the fiber when it is going on. So attenuation will happen. Okay, that is a property of the fiber, transmission characteristic of a fiber. So and distortion also will happen. Okay, because of noise addition, some scattering losses, all those things will contribute to the distortion. Fine. So now once we get the distorted pulses, okay, we are sending to the pin or avalanche photodiode. We are sending to the avalanche pin or avalanche photodiode. So what is the function of pin diode or avalanche photodiode is? It is going to recognize the optical signal and then corresponding electrical signal is going to be generated. So it is going to receive the optical signal and corresponding electrical energy or electrical signal will be generated from the diode, from the pin diode or avalanche photodiode. Depending on our situation, we can able to use them. So once we convert the optical energy into electrical energy, particular generated electrical is not in a proper way, because what we sent and what we receive, there will be some lot of okay, not lot of, at least some amount of signal will get distorted. So once the amount of signal is getting distorted, it is a problem. So we need to address it. So now electric current pulses containing the photodetector noise. Okay, you can see in the second row, the first wave. Okay, after the pin diode block, the wave is there. So that is a generated pulses. So that particular electric current pulses containing the photodetector noise. So once it is considered the photodetector noise, it is an amplifier and filter. Okay, we are passing that particular generated electric current impulses to the amplifier and filter. So once we consider that particular thing and once we pass to the amplifier and filter, so it will get amplified. Okay, obviously the signal amount of energy in the signal will get increased, amplitude will be increased. So once the amplitude is getting increased, we can say that amplification is happening. So once amplification is happening, okay, so the voltage pulses will get amplified, and voltage pulses and the amplifier noise. See, something, when whatever the situation you use, okay, whatever the electric circuits you use, 100% ideally it will not work. There will be some amount of noise associated with it always. So when you are talking about the amplifier, amplifier noise will get added to the pulse. Okay. So now electric current pulses will get amplified and we get the amplified version of it. So once the amplified version is there, okay, so it is sufficient to decide. So see what happens if the wave is very small, okay, the amplitude is very small. To take the decision whether it is a low signal or high signal, it is a very difficult task. So some threshold has to be maintained. Then only we can take the decision. That is why it will, after amplification, we are going to pass the circuit and pulse regenerate. So now in the pulse, in the decision circuit, what happens when the wave is entering? So that particular, the amplitude is above the threshold, it will be considered as 1. If the amplitude of the received signal is below the threshold, it will be considered as 0. So once we take the decision whether it is a 0 or whether it is a 1, then it is not a problem. It will take as it is 0, 1, 0, 1 like that. So here I pulse means what? I, but it will be converted as 1 and low value will be considered as 0. So we can see that after decision circuit and pulse regenerator, what we get is regenerated output voltage pulses. So you can see that the last, okay, third row, there you can see that regenerated output voltage pulses. So okay, in that particular regenerated output voltage pulses, you can see that 101 has been generated. So now after that, if we want to do some modifications to the signal, do some operation with respect to the signal, so we can consider that signal processing equipment. We can consider the signal processing equipment. Okay, so when you're talking about signal processing equipment, so whether signal strength has to be increased further or any modifications has to be done for the signal. Okay, so any alignment has to be done. Okay, any phase variations has to be done. Any frequency has to be included. Any modulation has to be done. Whatever the signal processing activity you want to do. So that particular signal processing equipment you need to keep and you need to do the operation at the receiver side. Now in everywhere there is a arrow mark. What is that particular arrow mark indicates? It indicates the time slot centers. Okay, time slot center, because in the time slot centers are getting varied, so we cannot decide properly. Okay, that is why at the time, okay, we always stress on the point that when you are writing the graph, we always stress on one point. What is that particular point? You write the x-axis, you write y-axis, you indicate what is in x-axis, y-axis, and you mention that what is the time interval. So then only you will get a proper wave. Okay, that is what exactly the thing. Okay, so do you have any doubt in this particular diagram? So do you have any doubt in this particular diagram, any one of you? I'll give 5 minutes of time. Please make a note of this particular diagram, all of you. Please write the diagram. Please observe the diagram. So if you get any doubt, you can ask me. So once it is done, please let me know. I will be waiting for your reply. Okay, can I believe that you people have taken the diagram? Okay, so we will go to the next thing. The sentences. See, I think and I believe that all those explanation I covered, but still I will go through one sentence by sentence so that it will be a recall for you people. So here TB, the one thing is I forgot to tell you, it is time slot B. Okay, so the time slot between 0 and 1. Okay. So I can say that TB is the duration where one particular pulse is going to takes place. So let us consider in the first leftmost top is given for 1. That means what? One particular pulse occurring in a time duration. That particular time duration is considered as TB. So here we can say that the transmitted signal is two-level binary data stream consisting of 0 and 1 in time slot TB. That is a very well-known thing to you. Okay. The function of transmitter is to convert electrical signal into optical signal. That is the first thing. The function of the transmitter when you're talking about the optical transmitter, what is the function? It will transmit. Okay, fine. How it is going to transmit? Because we will be having the electrical signal. That electrical signal will be converted into optical signal and then it is going to transmit. Okay. And after that, after arriving at the end of the fiber, okay, that means what? Optical signal arriving at the end of the fiber, the receiver converts optical signal into electrical signal. The receiver converts optical signal into electrical. That is the fun thing. So after arriving at the end of the fiber, the receiver converts optical signal into electrical signal. So now after the understanding the primary and explanation, so we can see that avalanche photodiode generates electrical signal, so which is proportional to the received output optical power. So here when you're talking about avalanche photodiode, we have taken as an example. Instead of avalanche photodiode, you can see that so any particular photodiode generates the electrical signal which is proportional to the received optical power. It is proportional to the received optical power. That is the one thing. So if the electrical signal is weak, the front end amplifier will boost the signal. See now what exactly happened in between the when the received signal is weak. Okay, when the received electrical signal is weak, so obviously the front end amplifier will boost the signal. Boost the signal. So now once the signal is boosted, so it is made to pass through the filter to reduce the noise. So once the signal is boosted, so it is made to pass through the filter to reduce the noise. Okay. So now after once it is passing through the filter determines the receiver bandwidth and minimizes the inter-symbol interference. So filter determines the receiver and minimizes the inter-symbol interference. Okay. So here inter-symbol interference means you know that what is the concept of inter-symbol interference. When the two signals are getting interfered, so it is very difficult for a decision circuit to consider whether it is a 1 or whether it is a 0. So that particular thing is going to happen. The filter determines the receiver bandwidth and minimizes the inter-symbol interference. Okay, so next sentence when you are talking about the decision circuit samples the signal level and compares with the threshold level. The decision circuit samples the signal level and compares with the threshold level. Okay, so once it is comparing the threshold level, if the sampled signal is greater than the threshold, 1 will be received. See, once we comparing, so after comparison, something has to come out. What is that particular decision? If sampled signal is greater than the threshold, 1 will be received. Okay. So if it is not greater than 1, what is the answer? If it is not greater than the 1, so obviously 0 will be received. So if it is not greater than 1, and 0 will be received. So if it is greater than the threshold, 1 will be received. Okay, so that is why we need to set the threshold. So I repeat, if the sample signal is greater than the threshold, similarly, if the sample signal is lesser than threshold, 0 will be received. Okay, so your clock circuit generates signal, so which has periodicity equal to the bit interval. So here the concept comes, the clock circuit when you are using, so it generates a signal which has a periodic property, that is periodicity we say, periodicity equal to the bit interval. So now when we are giving, so we have bits, okay, in the terms of zeros and ones we have sent. So what is the time interval between the 0 and the 1? The same frequency, same time interval will be made or will be maintained in the clock signal also. That is what exactly the meaning of, okay, that is what exactly the meaning of the clock circuit generates a signal which has a periodicity equal to the bit interval. So this particular concept is also called as what clock recovery or timing recovery. It's called what clock recovery or timing recovery. Okay. So I will just give you 2 minutes of time. I can go through this particular slide and whatever the important points you feel, so you can make a note of this particular points. And in examination, you need to write properly all these things. So please go through it. Take 2 minutes of time. Go through it. Try to understand the concept. So if it's not clear to you, you please ask me. So please make a note of this particular points. Go through this one. So if you feel that you have not understood anything, you please let me know. Okay. So once you completed this one, okay, please let me know so that I can go for the next slide. Okay, slide you can see that a decision circuit samples the signal level and compares with the threshold level. So if the sample signal is greater than threshold, 1 will be received. So similarly, if the sample signal is lesser than the threshold, 0 will be received. Okay, so clock circuit generates the signal which has a periodicity equal to the bit interval. So that particular bit interval and all, we have seen that clock recovery, timing recovery, we have seen. So once we understand this one, we will go to the next particular concept called as what sources. We'll go to the next concept called as what error sources. So now when you're talking about error sources, so what are the different kinds of errors which will be generated? So here that particular thing and all we are going to discuss here. So please take down this particular diagram. I am going to just explain this one. So now here different places you can see that. Okay, so different places means when the photon stream is passing. So in the semiconductor. So now here in that particular passing of the photon stream, you can see that the photon detection, quantum noise are. So here what exactly it means to say that is when the photon is passing, when the photon stream is passing. So obviously photon detection and the quantum noise will get arise. So that particular kind of noise you can encounter in this particular area. That is what exactly the meaning. Okay. So now once it goes to the photo detector, what are the different kinds of noise which may occur? So what are the different kinds of noise which may occur are, so your bulk current is going, surface leakage current is going to occur, statistical gain fluctuation. Okay, this particular statistical gain fluctuation, if you are using the avalanche photodiodes, it is going to happen. If you are not using the avalanche photodiode, it is not going to happen. That is for sure. So that is why they have given very specific for avalanche photodiodes. Okay, so photodetector, when you are talking about the photodetector with the gain M, so what are the other things which are, what are the different may occur? So first thing is what bulk dark current is going to occur. Bulk dark current. So a dark current, you know, what do you mean by bulk? Bulk means huge quantity. Okay, so huge quantity of dark current is going to occur. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is what surface leakage current. On the surface of the photodetector, the leakage of electric current is going to happen. It will come out, okay, through the surface of the photodetector. Coming out of the surface of the photodetector, obviously what exactly happens is, okay, obviously what exactly happens is, there is a loss of energy. So once there is a loss of energy, so even though we applied 100% of photon, we are losing the energy. Okay, we are not converting that particular 100% of current, okay, 100% of photon to the electric current. So that particular leakage is going to happen. So that is called a surface leakage current. And after that, statistical gain fluctuation. See, gain fluctuation is already almost it will be present in every device, okay, every particular amplifier. So that particular phenomena happens here also. Statistical gain fluctuation. That means what? It is not maintaining in a one particular thing. It is always fluctuating. So later we can see that there is another point. Okay, there is called bias resistor. When you are using the bias resistor, okay, when we are using the bias resistor, what are the different kinds of things which are going to happen? So here in the bias, okay, so obviously when the bias resistor, thermal noise is going to happen. So that particular thermal noise concept we need to consider, and we need to make sure that that thermal noise is not going to affect the amplifier. So if it is affecting the amplifier, then it is a problem. Okay, that particular problem we need to remove. So later at the amplifier stage, so what are the different kinds of noise which may occur? In amplifier, normally amplifier noise is going to happen. See, this particular amplifier noise is the electrical amplifier we are going to talking about. So obviously, what are the noise which associated with electrical amplifiers? The same thing is also. Okay. So these are the different kinds of error sources or noise sources. We can say error or noise. Both are same. Error means what? The signal is not getting properly. It is called what error. Why it is going to happen? Because of noise. So I can say that it is a noise source or disturbance. Okay. Or I can say that it is a error. So we can write this particular diagram. So in this particular diagram, we can make a note that noise sources and disturbances in optical pulse detection mechanism. The optical pulse detection mechanism. So please make a note of it. Once you are done, you please let me know. Okay, I hope that you people have taken this particular diagram. So here the explanation part of this particular diagram, if you are seeing, you can see that error arises from various noise and disturbances associated with the system. Obviously, error arises from various noises and disturbances associated with the system. Then here the noise sources can be internal or external to the system. So internal means what? Circuit itself is generating the noise due to the improper functioning or due to some other aspects. But external noise means what? So we are by sending the signal, by while transmitting the signal or while receiving the signal. Okay, so if anything is getting added, that is called what external to the system. So we consider the internal noise which can be generated due to the fluctuations of current and voltages in the circuit. So here we consider the internal noise which can be generated due to the fluctuations of the circuit. So a common noise due to fluctuations are short noise, thermal noise, and quantum noise. So here we classified the noises into the internal and external. So once we then classified it to the internal and external, so what is that particular internal noise and what is that particular external noise? So you are talking about internal noise. So obviously the internal noise will be considered as, we consider this particular internal noise can be generated due to the fluctuation of current and voltages in the circuit. So a common noise due to the fluctuations are short thermal noise and quantum noise. In the internal I am talking about short noise, thermal noise and quantum noise. So you can make a note of this particular statements, three particular noises. So you can say, you can write that noise arises due to the various noise and disturbances associated with the system. We are talking about various types of noise associated with the system. So obviously we classify the noises into internal and external. So when we take the internal, so there are three particular types. So the particular three types are what? Short noise, thermal noise, and quantum noise. So what is this particular short noise, thermal noise, and quantum noise? We will see. So short noise means what? So obviously short noise means short noise arises due to the discrete nature of current flow in the circuit. This arises due to the discrete nature of current flow in the circuit. So discrete nature of current flow, that means what? If it is a continuous flow, then not a problem. But discrete flow means what? It is a problem. Why it is problem? One instant we are going to get the noise, and another instant we are not going to get the signal. Okay, at one instant signal is there, another instant signal is not there. If it is moving like that, the circuit will get trouble. That is why we can say that, okay, short noise, it is arising due to the nature of discrete nature of current flow in the circuit. So after that, thermal noise. What is the meaning of thermal noise? Thermal noise means it arises due to the random motion of sector. See, one particular way, one particular what you call for that, in one particular velocity, if electrons are moving, then it is not a problem. But when thing is happening like in different velocity, that electrons have started to move, then obviously due to the variations in the velocity, the heat will be generated. So that particular noise is called as what? Thermal noise. So it is arises due to the random motion of electrons in the conductor. So when it is talking about the quantum noise, it arises arrival of photons at photodetector. So here detector is detecting, but if the photons are coming in a one particular fashion, it is correct. But if the photons are coming in different way, then it is once again the problem. So it arises due to the random arrival of photons at the photodetector. So at this particular point, I am going to stop the class.